Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on UppTalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say UppTalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you're new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
This is what we will be covering in our this training. First is the basic of Workday. What Workday is, what is the model, how it stores data, integration, cloud platform, Workday web services, and all that. Then we will move to. First we'll do the reports because report is the basic for integrations. Advanced report is something that we will be used because Workday has different reporting types. You can create different types of reports, but for integration, you can only use advanced reports. For this training, we will be doing advanced reports. We will be spending good amount of time on advanced reports because whenever you do different kind of integrations for getting data from Workday reports are the only way. Apart from web services, report is the most frequently used data source. In the report, we'll see what are different data sources, what's a business object overview, how do we create that, how do we share reports, how do we schedule them, and all that, right? And then we will see how we expose that report as a web service to another system, right? That is covered in this part. Then Workday General Web Services. Where can we find them? Where can we find them? What are those web services? How to find which operation to use, and all those stuff that we will see. Then we will cover the integration business process. Everything in Workday. You do any task, it has a business process behind it. Business process is nothing but a set of events, set of actions that will happen. For integration also, we have a business process for each integration which will define what steps are there you can retrieve by reading a file, extracting a file, delivering a file, and then processing all that stuff. We will see that. Then security for integrations. What are system users and what are integration system security groups? And then the types of integrations. First, we will do code connectors, which are predefined templates in Workday. We will see what configurations are needed to do that. Then how do we set up notifications for integrations? We will see document transformation, which is another integration type. Then we will cover EIB, which is another integration type. Both we will cover inbound and outbound integrations. And calculated fields. Calculated fields, all the delivered Workday fields. If you want to do any calculation on top of that, like changing the date format, performing any mathematical calculation, and all that. That's what we use calculated fields for. This is a random sequence, but we will do it sequentially that the previous topic will lead to the next topic and all that. And in the last, we'll do Workday Studio. Workday Studio. This is just a basic of Workday Studio, not in detail because Workday Studio is an integration type which is a separate training. It's a wide thing. Workday Studio is the only integration type where you will have to install a separate kind of software on your laptop to do that. For everything else, whatever we have discussed, you just need the access to the tenant. That's it. Nothing more than that. Everything can be done using the tenant. Only for creating integrations via Workday Studio is when you will need to install Workday Studio. In this one, we will just cover the basic. When do we create Workday Studio integrations out and see different components that are there and all that? This is what we will cover. Just this part, Workday Integration Cloud. That's the basic of Workday, that Workday. You know it's a cloud product, right? Everything is on the cloud. In Workday Cloud, you have like your tenant, and that tenant is nothing, but you will have a link. You open it, enter your credentials, and then you will be in Workday. All that, everything is on the cloud. Like you from an integration perspective as well, you have different web services, different types of integration, and all that. That's all in the cloud. And with that integration cloud platform, which is also part of your tenant, is where you connect with the different vendors, different systems, and all that. From a very layman perspective, I'll say when you want to implement Workday right, you're a company who wants to implement Workday. Consider it as a builder has given you an apartment right. Now, when you get apartment inside that, like the building structure, you cannot change, right? Because the structure is something that is approved right by the government authorities. Structure will remain as is, but inside your apartment you can do anything. If you have 3 rooms, you can make it 4 rooms. You can have your own partition and do whatever you want. That is something called as functional configuration. Whenever you get a tenant, it's up to you how many modules you want to configure. You do that, right? That configuration is nothing but modifying your apartment. But then when you have an apartment, you will have to integrate it with the other systems, right? Like other systems. And I say electricity department to get the electricity for water supply. You need to get in water. These consider this as different vendors. For example, you have different payroll vendors. If you have to consider HCM, for payroll vendor, you need to send the employee data that the payroll vendor can send you the pay slips and calculate your salary. Those are the integrations that we normally do as part of the integration stream in Workday. It deals with sending data out of Workday or getting data into Workday from different systems. It can be a payroll systems. It can be financial system. It can be recruiting system. Anything which you are not implementing in Workday will be outside and hence to send data in and out. That's where we use integration. This is what I said, inbound and outbound integrations. An integration is called an outbound integration when you have to send data out from Workday, right? When you extract data, you will have to transform it and send it. As part of that, sometimes you need to do an automation that instead of manually running the process, we should schedule it to run every day 6 a.m. or something like that. That's called a schedule, and the data which we are sending. Say if it's a file, we can encrypt it using different like P, G, P encryption. That's a generic outbound flow. Opposite to that is the inbound flow, where you get data from the other system, transform it, and then load it into Workday. That's the only thing that you can do. This process also you can schedule, and you can have encryption. And then this is the last slide for today. I'll not keep it heavy, just a basic one. But yes, from the next class onward, we will go into the detail again from the very basic that how would these tools data. These are the types of integrations that work. They provide nothing beyond this. First, we have the Workday Cloud Connect packages and connectors. These are pre-built templates which work. They provide, like, for example, Workday knows that if any company is implementing Workday, some systems will be outside, and those are very common. Like for example, in US, you have different benefit providers, right? VSP, wage work anthem, and all those. UR Delta Delta. All those are standard benefit providers. It will be the same. Workday has done partnership with them. And Workday has built an integration already, and it has provided you as a template. You don't have to write any code. You have to just configure, and then the integration is ready. It just takes max 5-10 minutes, and your integration is ready to be tested if you have all the data. Those are called connectors. Then you have web services, or RAS, which is a report as a service. This is when you expose Workday web services to the other system. You have a web services. Instead of sending data via file, you send them an API which they can call whenever they will call. They will get the data. It's more real time. Then you have EIB, which is Enterprise Interface Builder. It's a graphical user interface where you have to just select the data source, do a transformation, and send it. This is where the transformation. We will use the coding language. Workday doesn't have its own proprietary language like in PeopleSoft. We have PeopleCode, which is very specific to PeopleSoft, right? In Workday, we don't have any such coding language. Workday uses SLT, which is an open source. X8 is a transformation, which you do on Topper XML. And then we have document transformation. It's again document transformation is a integration type, which is never used standalone. It is used along with a connector or with any idea. It just does an extra transformation. And the last one is Workday Studio, which enables you to build and configure any custom requirement. Right. Where say you have to fetch data from different sources, generate multiple files or consume multiple files, call different APIs and all that stuff. Anything custom is done using Workday Studio. In our course, we will cover each one of them. Right now, it is just a basic overview, but yes, we will go one by one on each one of them in our sessions. I'll stop here. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.